Welcome to Aptitude for Placements, and my name is Ranjit. I have conducted this aptitude training program at various engineering colleges all over India, and every year thousands of students get placed by attending this aptitude training program. Here you will find all the questions that are commonly encountered in most of the aptitude tests. These are the questions that keep on repeating in many of these tests. So just familiarize yourself with all these questions and you will have a clear advantage when you attempt your actual placement test. Let's start. A man deposited rupees 2000 in a bank at simple interest at 4% per year. So first of all, we will calculate the interest that he gets every year. What he has deposited is rupees 2000 and he will get 4% per year. So every year he will get 4% of this. So we'll just calculate what he gets. 0 and 0 I'll cancel here. So 20 into 4 you will get it as 80. So he'll get 80 rupees every year. He also deposited rupees 3000 in another bank at simple interest at 14% per year. So in the other bank he has deposited 3000 and he will get 14% of that. So we'll just calculate that. I'll cancel out the zeros. So 14 into 3 is 42 and the 0 also, so you'll get it as 420. So altogether what he gets every year is 80 plus 420, that is 500. So what he gets every year is 500. This is what he gets. Now find the effective rate of interest per year for the whole sum. Now in one bank he has deposited 2000 and in the other he has deposited 3000. So 2000 plus 3000, altogether he has deposited 5000. And let us say he is getting R percentage of his total amount 5000 and what he is getting is rupees 500. So we'll just solve here. 500 and this 500 cancels out, this 0 I'll cancel with this 0. So R you will get it as 10%. So effective rate of interest for the whole amount is 10%. That is option D. A farmer borrowed rupees 400 at simple interest at 10% interest per year. At the end of 3 years, he cleared the principal and the interest by paying rupees 500. So altogether he had borrowed rupees 400 and the rate of interest is 10% per year and that is for 3 years. So first of all, we will calculate the interest that he has to pay. The principal is 400 and the rate of interest is 10%. So every year he has to pay 10% of this, like that for 3 years. So we'll just calculate this is the total interest that he has to pay. We'll just calculate that. I'll just cancel these zeros. So 4 into 10, 40. 40 into 3 is rupees 120. So altogether the interest that he has to pay for 3 years is 120. So the principal is 400 and he has to pay 120 rupees as interest. So this is what he has to pay at the end of 3 years. And at the end of 3 years, he cleared the principal and interest by paying rupees 500 and a sack of rice. So to pay this 400 plus this 120, he has paid 500 and a sack of rice. So 400 plus 120 gives you 520. That is equal to 500 plus the sack of rice. So value of the sack of the rice has to be 20. So that has to be rupees 20. So sack of rice value is rupees 20. That is option D. A farmer borrowed rupees 2400 at simple interest at 12% interest per year. At the end of 2.5 years, he cleared the principal and interest by paying rupees 3000 and a box full of sweets. So first of all, we will calculate the interest that he has to pay. Now the principal amount that he has borrowed is 2400 and he has to pay 12% interest per year. So every year he has to pay 12% of this, like that for 2.5 years. So this is the total interest that he has to pay. So we'll just calculate that. I'll cancel the zeros. 24 I'll just write it as 12 into 2 into 12 into 2.5. So 12 into 12 is 144 into 2 into 2.5 gives you 5. So that you will get it as 720. So the interest that he has to pay is 720. So principal is 2400 plus 720. So altogether he has to pay 3120. So this is the total amount that he has to pay at the end of 2.5 years. Now he cleared the principal and interest by paying 3000 and a box full of sweets. He actually has to pay 3120. He paid 3000 and a box full of sweets. So the box full of sweets, its value has to be rupees 120. So 3000 plus this 120, it will add up to 3120. So the price of the box of sweets has to be rupees 120. What is the value of the box of sweets? 120, option B. Rupees 800 was deposited at simple interest. At the end of 3 years, it amounted to rupees 920. So the sum that was deposited was rupees 800. Now it was deposited for 3 years. So let us calculate the interest that you will be getting for 3 years. Now the sum that was deposited was 800. Now we will assume that the rate of interest is R% per year. So every year you will be getting R percentage of the principal, R percent of 800 you will get. Like that for 3 years. So this is simple interest that you will get for 3 years. And the sum that was deposited was rupees 800, and finally you got it as 920. So the interest that you will be getting is 920 minus 800, that will be 120. And this is the formula for that. That is, every year you will be getting R percent of the principal, like that for 3 years, and that interest is 120. So we'll just solve and calculate the rate of interest R. I'll cancel out the zeros here. So R you will get it as 120 by 8 into 3 is 24. 12 divides 2 times, so 10 by 2 gives you 5. So rate of interest is 5% per year. Now the question is, if the rate of interest had been 3% lesser, what would have been the amount at the end of 3 years? So instead of 5%, it is 3% lesser. Now you are getting only 2%. So then what will be the amount at the end of 3 years? The sum that was deposited was 800 and you are getting 3% less, which means that you will get only 2% of 800 per year. Like that for 3 years. This is the interest that you will be getting. So we'll just calculate this. I'll cancel out the zeros. So 2 into 3 gives you 6. 6 into 8 gives you 48. So instead of 5%, if it is 2%, the interest that you will be getting will be rupees 48. So the sum that was deposited is 800 and the interest will be 48. So at the end of 3 years, the amount will become 848. So what would have been the amount at the end of 3 years? 848, option B. Rupees 400 was deposited at simple interest. At the end of 3 years, it amounted to rupees 460. So the sum that was deposited was rupees 400. Now we will assume that the rate of interest is R% per year. So every year you will be getting R percentage of the sum that has been deposited. So this is the interest that you get per year, and like that for 3 years. So this is the interest that you get for 3 years. And the initial sum was 400 and the final amount was 460. So the interest that you got was 60. That is the interest for 3 years. So from this we will calculate the value of R. I will cancel the zeros here. So R you will get it as 60 by 4 into 3, 12. 12 divides 5 times. So rate of interest is 5% per year. Now the question is, if the rate of interest had been 3% lesser. So instead of 5%, it is now only 2%. It is 3% lesser. It is only 2%. What would have been the amount at the end of 3 years? So the sum that was deposited was rupees 400 and instead of 5%, now it is only 2%. So every year you will get 2% of the sum, like that for 3 years. So we'll just calculate this amount. So 2 into 3, 6, 6 into 4 gives you 24. So if the rate of interest is 2% per year, for 3 years you will get rupees 24 as an interest. So the sum that was deposited was 400, and for 3 years you will get 24 rupees as interest. So at the end of 3 years, the total amount will be 424. So what would have been the amount at the end of 3 years? 424, option B. Let me briefly explain how to prepare for your aptitude test. First of all, you need to familiarize yourself with all the questions that have been worked out here. These are the questions that keep on repeating in many of the aptitude tests. After that, you need to attempt practice tests. According to me, you need to attempt at least 10 practice tests before your actual placement test. Here, I will be giving you 10 practice tests, and these practice tests will be ideal for you to improve your test scores. The 10 practice tests are available at a cost of only rupees 200. So all that you need to do is make a payment of rupees 200, either through Google Pay or through PhonePe or through Paytm, and you will receive the 10 practice tests. The details of the payment comes next.